Hey y'all, I'm Ife and I wanted to come on live today and do a live stream. Today, well, if you join me at any point in time, you can, even if you come after the live has ended, you can post your questions and I'll do another live stream about that question that you asked. But anyways, so I'm on vacation now, but I wanted to come on and talk a little bit about China and some of the things that I've enjoyed being there. So I've been in China for 10 years now, and yeah, I've always been wanting to share my experiences about living in China. Now, it's been 10 years, but part of it was obviously the panorama, COVID. And I did have to stay stuck in China for 3 years. So that kind of prevented me from going home for I didn't go home for 5 years during that time, but it's okay because luckily things were I was living in a place where um, it was pretty chill compared to what I've heard other people had gone through during that time. But anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about some of the things that I've enjoyed. So the reason why I wanted to come and do a live today, because where I'm staying on vacation, I was chatting with the owners of the property and they were telling me that they had visited um, Japan and they visited China like recently. And they had visited Japan 10 years ago, and they visited Japan recently, and they literally said nothing's changed. Now, that could be a good thing or a bad thing, right? But it really depends on your perspective. But then they visited China and they realized, oh, China is like way ahead of a lot of these countries, especially um, Japan, which is one of the places that people always hype up, and they're like, oh, it's one of the most advanced places. But they visited China and Japan in the same space of time, and they were able to compare. And the reason why I don't really talk about this is because I haven't been back to Japan since I went the first time. So I went to Japan in 2017, and I haven't been back for a couple of reasons. Well, one of them was that the visa process for my passport, because I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, the visa process is so long and so much and so convoluted. I was like, I think it's a little bit easier now. I haven't gone through it, but um, I'm like, it's so much easier to go to so many other countries. It's not really a place I would run back to. And the other reason why I haven't been back to Japan, I think it was just okay. I don't tell a lot of people that. And here I am on a live stream telling you. I think it's just okay, especially when I've been in China for so long. I think there's so much more to do in China, see, experience. The cuisine is different depending on where you go. I just came from the western part of China, which is called Xinjiang. And it's so different. I send people, like my friends and family and stuff, pictures and videos, and they're like, "This is China." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's so different from what you would expect, right?" Even I was really like intrigued and surprised and shocked by it. But anyways, that's the beauty of China, that it's so diverse. It's it can be so different depending on where you go, whether you go all the way north, if you go to Inner Mongolia, which I found was so different. Um, I I live in the southern part, and if you visit the southern part, that's also very different. When you go to the western, far west, far east, it's different. You go to the Sichuan area, Chongqing, Chengdu, you go to those cities, the cuisine is very different, very spicy. And I'm really excited to share a lot of that with you guys. So it was really good to chat with the owners of the place that I'm staying. I vlogged this place, so I will definitely post that as well. It's interesting to see that, to hear. what other people say, because I mean, because I've lived in China for 10 years, I'm accustomed to a lot of the things. I'm just used to it now, where I don't really think about it. But when I hear it from somebody who doesn't live there and they've just visited, they visited three cities. They visited Guangzhou, um, Beijing, and Shanghai, and they thought it was okay. And they definitely want to go back. I believe they plan to go in October, the 9th of October or something. They're going to travel and they're going to go to Xi'an, which I recently posted a video for. They're going to Xi'an. They're going to, I believe, it's Chengdu and Chongqing. And there are three places I've gone to as well. And I still have to post for Oxford. So I still have to post. I went to Chongqing last year, summertime. That is not for the weak. That is the heat. The heat. I have never been somewhere. It was so hot that sweat was just pouring out of my skin. I was like, my pores are getting cleansed. If I ever felt like I needed to get my pores cleansed, now's the time. Now's the time that it's happening. So, um, I I was in Chongqing in the height of summer, and it was just insane with regard to how hot it was, and I felt as though I couldn't. Okay, I've experienced a heat in Shanghai that it's so hot and humid, you can't even breathe. It's so hot, right? Like it's so humid. Like it feels like you're walking through a hot water bubble. But Chongqing, it just felt like it's just hot. And it's not just the humidity, it's just hot and just sweat is like like just pouring. Don't even think I posted the pictures or I shared the pictures of Chongqing. Maybe I'll post it on my community post so you guys can see. But you could just see my neck is wet, my face is wet, everything is just wet, and I didn't even. I was like, don't even bother to wipe because 5 seconds later, the sweat is just gonna come pouring out. So if you want a good skin cleanser, go to Chongqing. Go to Chongqing. So Chongqing was quite cool. I only spent 1 day and 1 night, I think, in Chongqing. I was coming back from Tibet. So I did Tibet last year as well. Well, I did part of Tibet because that was the situation. I had altitude sickness. Altitude sickness was so bad. Sorry. The altitude sickness was really bad. And yeah, I couldn't. I spent maybe 2, 3 days and I was like, nah, I can't do this. I'm out. Luckily, Xinjiang wasn't so bad because there is also quite a high altitude up there too. I just want to boost this a little bit and go up a little bit higher. But yeah, let me see. Let me sit over here. But yeah, so Tibet was a little bit rough, so I didn't do much of it, but I left Tibet and I went to Chongqing. I also needed to like slowly come down from the altitude, the high altitude. And I did Tibet. I did Chongqing just for a couple days. Actually, the hotel room I stayed in, I remember it being quite nice as well. Some people, they've posted some beautiful places in Chongqing, actually, like beautiful accommodation. So I would love to go back. And the reason why I want to go back to Chongqing too is that I want to do the motorcycle ride. That's quite cool. I want to try that. So that'll be all right. It's like a viral motorcycle ride that everybody does. And it looks like pretty like really cool, really cool. So I would love to do that. If you're now joining me and you'd love to ask me a question about China, feel free to type your question and I will definitely answer it for you as best as I can. So yeah, so last year I did Chongqing. So the where I'm staying right now, the owners of the place said they're also visiting Chengdu. And I did go to Chengdu as well. That's where you'll see the pandas and stuff. I do want to tell them that if they're going to Chengdu to also go to a place called Leshan, which is actually really cool as well. That's like a this huge Buddha that's like carved into the side of the mountain. And a really cool way to see it is like from the boat, which I didn't see, I didn't do. I actually climbed beside of the Buddha, and I think it's like 80 feet. Let me see if I can Google real quick how tall it is. Let me see if I can Google how tall that Buddha is. How tall is the Buddha in Lasham? I'm just gonna do a quick question. Oh, they say I knew that it was about. I was gonna say 80 meters tall, and I'm pretty close. It's 71 meters tall, which is actually very high. The head alone, it's 14.7 meters tall, and the ears, just the ears alone are 7 meters. Like you can't understand the sheer size of this Buddha until you're actually there. I remember standing at the base of it, at the bottom. I was standing at the bottom, and I think my head was reaching just where the toes started. It was so massive, and your brain just can't compute how huge this thing is. So, that's one of the places I want to tell. Like, if you go to Chengdu, I would suggest that you go there as well because it's such a beautiful experience to see a Buddha that massive and stuff. So, whew, so side quest. I am on a 3 day fast, and am I have not done a 3 day fast in a very long time. So let me see how far along I am. Right now, I am 41 hours into my fast. I'm excited about that. I know side quest. I know this has nothing to do with China, but it's going well. They say my body is going through autophagy right now, and my cells are starting to clean up, remove any unnecessary cells. My sleep was not so good last night because I guess because of the fasting. If you guys do any fasting when you're rewatching the stream, give me a thumbs up. Uh, that was one side quest. But yeah, that's going okay so far. Yeah, so yeah, I love talking to people when they start visiting China just for like vacation, not even up just about living, you know. I would definitely recommend to them, don't really just do the main places that everybody does. Everybody does Beijing, everybody does this. They do Shanghai, they do Guangzhou, Shenzhen. That's like the typical places everyone would do. And I'm not saying don't do those places, but I like when people go off the beaten path and they do something different and go somewhere different. I also told them to go to a province called Guilin. Wait, sorry, Guangxi. It's Guangxi, where you can go to Guilin, Yangshu. You can see the karst mountains. It's like really beautiful. It's one of the places I went to in 2018. Was actually really cool. I went there before I went home that summer. I was glad I did because I got stuck home that summer for 4 months. Well, it was more than summer. I was there until November. But anyways, well, so here I am, excited to talk to you guys about some of the things and places I've gone to in China. So when I went on that trip, Guangxi province, Guilin. So I went and I stayed in a hostel. I don't remember. That actually was one of my first vlogs I posted video-ish. It wasn't a vlog, it was just a little small clip. I stayed in Guilin. I usually stay in a hostel, and when I stayed there, they were like, yeah, they asked me how many days I had, and they helped me map out where I would stay and stuff. And they told me don't stay too long in Guilin. Try to get to a place called Xingping, and then from there, they told me do the. So in Guilin, they told me to do a morning bike ride to the mountains to see the sunrise. That was pretty cool. And then I did some caves as well, which was all right. It's like it's natural, but then it's like artificially lit with like different colors and stuff, which was actually cool. And then I did Xingping. So I did the raft, I did like a boat raft down the river. And it's really iconic because the scenery that's depicted on a 20 RMB bill is also the scenery that you would see when you get to the end of this boat ride. Because you get to the city called Xingping, and when you look back at the end of the raft ride, and you look back and you see the actual, it's like a painting that was put on the 20 RMB bill. So that's pretty cool. And after that, I stayed in, they told me where to stay. They said, stay in this particular hostel so that you can get up and see the sun. Sorry, you can see the sunset at that point. It's really beautiful. It's like a horseshoe bend kind of scenery. And once you do that, you can go to stay there for one night, and then they say go to Yangshuo and you can spend as long as you want there. And that is really beautiful. So they say rent bicycles, and I think it was like a 3 hour bus ride from Xingping to Yangshuo. And when you get there, it's like just it's just it's rural, it's quiet. I mean, there are the busy parts and stuff, which is just fine. But then you get into a space where it's just quiet and serene, and you're on your bicycle and you're riding and making your way downtown, and you just do having your fun. And yo, that's the thing about China. You can have your childlike moments. You can relax. You can go explore. You can go and do adventure. Oh, there's a really cool thing I want to do. You know the I don't know if you guys have seen the you have to climb up. How, it's like a ladder you have to climb. I've seen it all over Instagram now. And people are like climbing this thing, you're getting these drone shots, and it's so cool. And I'm like, I wanna do this. So I've got this girl, one of the girls who I went to Xinjiang with, she's like, I sent her the video and she's like, tell me when. Just tell me when. So she is definitely down for it. She's excited to do it. And it would be interesting to just do. Man, here's what life is short. Just go enjoy, try things, try experiences, do the things that excite you and help you to just experience what life has to offer. I think what fascinates me is that there's just so much to see and do in China, and that is the fascinating thing about it. But yeah, that's one of the places. I can't remember what. Let's do a quick check. I can't remember what province that place is. Let me just check real quick. Here, let me see on what city. Let me check. Okay, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about. That I want to do that. Yes, yes. My mama would be so proud that I'm out here doing things. No, she'd be like worried. But yeah, I definitely want to do that. That would be. Whoo, let me see. Where is it? Is it in Zhangjiajie? Oh, okay, my bad. Whoops. It's in Zhangjiajie. Oh, if I go now, that's going to be so hot. But it's via Ferrata, and literally the incline for that thing is 80 degrees. So this is literally what you're climbing. Oh my God. I think my legs are going to shake. I'm generally not afraid of heights. I'm not deathly afraid of it. I'm just a little shaky when I'm doing like high stuff. But yeah, that is something. That is that is something. That it's it's something I would definitely try. Look at that again. Look at that. So it's in a place called Zhangjiajie, and that is where the Avatar Mountains are. So when they filmed Avatar, they used those mountains as the backdrop and like inspiration for this the scenery and the a lot of the mountains like that. They definitely use that as in the movies. So anyways, so this is Man, we're out here trying things, man. So I'm definitely gonna do. Would you guys try it? I'd love to know if you all would try something like this. Would you? I mean, it seems like you're strapped in really well. You're secured, you're attached to the, you're not actually going up there without any safety harnesses, which is really good. Via Ferrata, how it works is like you're literally strapped and you're just moving along the guide rail, basically. So it's gonna be a wild one. It's gonna be a fun one though, I think. But yeah. Um, I like trying on doing like just try something once at least. One thing I really want to try is skydiving. Not in China though. I wouldn't do that in China. I would somewhere else, somewhere else. I did paragliding in um Turkey a few years back, which was quite nice. That was beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I love that. So I definitely could see myself doing something where the thing about the paragliding, they didn't even give me time to to back out of it. I was like, oh wait, I need to use the bathroom. Like that was my way to just like stall for a bit. And as soon as I came out the bathroom, it's like they didn't even want me to like think for 2 seconds. As soon as I walked out, they strapped me to the guy and we off the mountain. I don't even remember getting a time to think before or adjust. It was like, nope, clip, off, like running off that mountain. We're off. So you go off a cliff and that's it, you're gone. Oh, that was one of my favorite experiences ever. Loved it. Really loved it. Yeah. I would definitely do that again. Yeah, that's something I would do again. And the scenery was beautiful and it was just so quiet and serene. I don't know why I didn't expect it to be so quiet. Very quiet. Yeah. So anyways, that was that experience in Turkey, man. So I mean, I feel like I do think, but I still feel like there's still so much more to do, right? So much more to experience, so much more to just go out and try. And um, one of the things that really just like caught me off guard in Xinjiang recently when I visited was that the different weather types. So when I was showing the owners of the place I'm staying here now, I was showing them pictures of me in Xinjiang. They were like, "This was all in one trip." I was like, "Yeah." So you went from really hot in Kashgar, and because I was wearing like a little dress and a little sundress, and then I'm walking around in like chill, and you can see the beautiful architecture, the colorful doors, and the streets. Like you felt like you were in like Central Asia, and then because you are pretty much. And then I showed them pictures. I'm with the yak, sitting on the yak, just chilling. And then I see myself that I still show them pictures of me by a glacier, freezing cold. Like, I was like, guys, yes, this is all in one trip, all in an 8-day trip. We saw all of this. So it's really like I told them it was snowing. I was miserable. It was cold. I mean, it was only granted for like an hour. But I was like, it's like an hour too long. It's an hour too long for me. That's what I think. Anyways, so that was Xinjiang. I can't wait to post. I cannot wait to post those videos for you guys. There's so much to post and so much for you guys to see and and experience from that. And I'm sorry to share with you guys so that you could see what my experience was like. If you guys are ever interested in coming to China, let me know. I can give you guys pointers and any advice. And if you're thinking about moving here, living here, I can give you guys advice on that as well. Um, China is it's a vibe. It's a vibe. So I think people always go to China and they expect one thing, just like me. I did. I expected one thing and I was like, But this is not what the reality is, it's so different. If you have any questions about China, let me know. Give me give me an idea of anything that you would want me to talk about in future videos. Um, the One of the surprising things about China was that how advanced it's become over the years. So I feel as though like China was ahead of the time when I already came 10 years ago, but then um, now it's like even better because I feel as though the government tries to make sure that the life is easier and easier for you. It's more comfortable. It's more convenient. It's things that you didn't even realize you needed. That's what like I try to make sure that you're comfortable. So something as simple as how we book train tickets now. When I first moved to China and we had to book train tickets, it was like you had to go to the train station. You literally had to get up, take a taxi, or walk. I luckily, my first city I lived in, I was living close to the train station. I walked to the train station and I went to the window. You had to stand in a line, first of all. Yeah, there was a line for Chinese and a line for foreigners, but somehow there's always a Chinese in the foreigner line, by the way. So then I went in yeah, you stand in that line, you get to the top of the line, and then you'll be like, yes, I want to go to Shanghai, for example. And they'll be like, oh, no, a direct train? No, that's booked, fully booked. No, you have to take this connecting train to get there. I was like, okay, cool. And then you pay your money, you get your ticket. Let's say you get your ticket, right? You go back home and you're like, oh, no, I want to cancel. Oh, no, you have to get up, go back. You have to go back to China, go back to the train station, stand in that line again, get to the top of the line and be like, oh, I'd like to cancel my ticket. Like that is literally what it was like. And get your either cancel it or change your ticket, get a refund or whatever. So, and then if you wanted to then eventually after they changed that you can book it online, but then you had to go to the window still to collect the physical ticket before you could board the train. So they were every time they were advancing, so it was getting better and better. So you just had to arrive a little, you didn't have to go specifically to the station, you just had to buy the ticket. You could have done that if you wanted to, but they made it where you can purchase a ticket online, but then collected this physical ticket at the station. And then they switched it from that. You can purchase a ticket online, and then you didn't need to collect a physical ticket, and you just needed to enter with your passport, scan, and get it. You didn't need to print any ticket at all. Now, I think you only need to print a ticket if you need to get like a refund or reimbursement or anything. But even that, you don't even need that to get a reimbursement from your company or get a FAPIA or a receipt or invoice or whatever. So man, that's the thing I love about China, that you can see the advances, like as simple as the train. Like you don't have to waste time standing in a line anymore. You don't have to waste time collecting your ticket. You don't have to waste time um, going back to the train station to go get your refund. You can get your refund on your phone. You can get your refund on the apps and stuff so that you can use to purchase your tickets. So, man, simple things like that, like making sure they're always they're always building a new subway line in different cities that I've lived in. There was a city I lived in close to Qingdao, and they had a subway line. When I got there, they were like, "No, a subway line's supposed to come in next year." But they said that subway line, they've been waiting for that subway line for at least 2, 3 years. Now, to build a subway line, they had to cut through rock and make tunnels, and it actually, part of it also ran along the seashore, which would, to this day, it's still one of the most beautiful I'm saying subway lines that I've actually used. And before I would have taken an hour to get into the city from where I lived. But with that subway line, it would take like 20, 30 minutes, which is not bad. And it was a lot cheaper because obviously a taxi was expensive, but an hour long taxi ride, oh, that was very expensive. I used to have to, like, if I wanted to go party on the weekend or something, I would have to split a taxi with my coworkers. But then I was that coworker was psycho, like psycho. I'm not even exaggerating. Like he was not he mentally wasn't okay. Like he was a strange guy. Anyways, um, yeah. So those are some of my shenanigans in China, living here for 10 years. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the replay. I'll catch you guys later. Bye.